once again to ruin your day. Oh yeah. Alright son, sit down, because we're going to be tackling a pretty heavy topic today. Today, we're going to be talking about
YouTube's most controversial young creator, Ltcorbis, was once hailed as the future of the platform. At just 12 years old, she managed to attract a large audience, especially among young viewers who had more free time to watch her content. But her commentary videos were also considered one step ahead of the curve.
Unnecessary laws everywhere. They don't let us own anymore. They don't let us trap. They don't let us kids.
She often combined gameplay footage with a comedic effect, which were both innovating and controversial, but her commentary videos would also be considered one step ahead of the curve, and with very sophisticated and good structure, they would even attract the attention of the older ones. Despite her young age, Ltcorbis gained over 900,000 subscribers at the peak of her popularity. However, her views on politics, religion, and the LGBT community ultimately led to her downfall.
California students will now hear about and repurposing food items as those. I wish I was joking.
This is the story of how a promising young YouTuber became known as the most racist child on the platform. And for those who are wondering why are we discussing Ltcorbis despite not mentioning her in the poll, it's simply because many of my subscribers requested it in my worst YouTuber series, and to be perfectly honest, I am a bit behind schedule. But I appreciate everyone who commented on that video, and remember, you can still vote for the next video's topic on my channel. Currently, conspiracy theories are leading, so to not waste any more of your precious time, let's dive into the rise and fall of Ltcorbis, aka the most racist child on YouTube.
Alright, once you interfere with my God-given right to trade children like Pokemon cards, you've gone too far. Like, it's such a hassle to have to go on the dark web to buy mere you know? Like,
something I mentioned a few times on my channel while discussing mature topics is how dangerous unsupervised internet access can be for a child. It can expose them to mature and explicit content, but not only that, but also to the wrong people. Also, it's quite scary to browse such websites and feel constant fear and insecurity, because often hackers can get a hold of your information and sell it to scammers who can use it against you. Also, I don't know if you saw, but AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records, both existing and former customers, were released on the dark web. These data brokers would use your information, package it up and sell it to very bad people. So that's why I feel very safe, because I know that Aura protects me on every click I make. Also, have you tried to Google search your name? I know I did, and I was definitely not happy to see how much of my personal stuff was just floating around. People can very easily find your full name, address and email address, and this can not only happen to you but also to your relatives. And we can all agree that this can be quite scary. That's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. And what's very convenient, they provide all those things under one app. The app is not only convenient but also very reasonably priced. So if you value privacy, which you definitely should, go to https://aura.com/snorky to start your free 2-week trial. The link is in the description but also in the comment sections. Thanks once again to Aura for sponsoring this video, and let's continue with Ltcorbis. Ltcorbis started her online activity at just 9 years old. While I was visiting some sites with some flash games, she was browsing sites like 4chan. And anyone who is familiar with 4chan knows that the site contains many weird and disturbing content that definitely can upset a child. And 4chan definitely shaped Corbis' personality over time. She was introduced to YouTube just 1 year later by her brother, and like many other young viewers, she started to watch Minecraft videos and other Let's Play channels. Eventually, she shifted her focus to more mature content and started to dip her toes into the commentary waters. And she definitely had enough of all the kids who misrepresented the youth on YouTube and wanted to take matters into her own hands.
It's just great to think about the fact that any day now my parents could die. I get adopted by some wacko foster parents, and bam! I'm married to a 32-year-old man. Just like that. And then I would be stuck in that marriage for at least the next 5 years, which is just, that's also just amazing. Wonderful.
And like in my case, she would create a channel to talk about the games she liked, particularly Minecraft in her case, and in mine it was PlayStation 1 games. Both of our efforts were like shouting into an empty void, and the things we said were left quite in the darkness. She then made a smart move and decided to join the deep and dangerous waters of the commentary community, mostly because she wanted to be like her idols she followed at the time. Sadly, her commentary content, just like the Minecraft content, was completely unseen by the masses and she didn't receive any attention. Until a Reddit post came up on March 10, 2016, where she jumped from 50 to 215 subs. But this was just a start. The video was about paying tribute to her favorite creators, some of them being Leafy, Pyrocynical, Sneeko, and iDubbbz.
But I'm like this weird dog mix breed. I'm a mix of different dogs and I look kind of weird and I'm kind of a mix of like 6 YouTubers. So most of it comes from Leafy, Pyrocynical, and Sneeko. It's just like a big cluster of other big YouTubers that I watch on a regular basis. So I have absolutely nothing going for me. I mean, the only thing I have going for me is the fact that I'm an 11-year-old little girl.
She even described herself as not being unique, as she is just a mix of them, and she isn't bringing anything new to the table. But when Pyrocynical saw the video which was posted on his subreddit, he decided to give her a shoutout.
I'm not making this up, by the way. An 11-year-old girl has literally made a commentary on how to be original on YouTube. But you know the worst thing is? It's actually really good. I was watching it thinking it was going to be a total cringe fest, but this girl has embraced the memes. She actually knows what she's talking about. And by no means is this your cliched, innocent 11-year-old girl.
Ltcorbis made a massive leap from 250 subs to 60k, and within 5 days she reached the impressive 100k mark. At one point, Ltcorbis was hailed as the YouTube's fastest growing creator, seen by many as the platform's future. She even made an appearance on Keemstar's show, with Keemstar himself proudly claiming he was behind her rapid rise to 100,000 subscribers.
Well, I guess this is the drama alert effect. Are you seeing this right?
Many thought this 11-year-old swearing commentary girl was just a fleeting buzzword on the platform, and her time was up. Surprisingly, this wasn't the case. Ltcorbis sharpened her skills and quickly gained 600,000 subscribers just in a few months. Ltcorbis' way of describing and addressing things on the internet was quite sophisticated, with a slap of reality every now and then, just to remind people that she was 11 years old.
I've been in school for 2 weeks now. I don't know by my demeanor and whole, thing going on here, but school is just fun. I love school. It's just great.
As her fame grew, people started to speculate this was perhaps the doing of her brother or family members. But this was denied every time it was addressed. But as she grew in the commentary community space, the cracks would start to appear. This led Ltcorbis to make an infamous video called the Cyber Cycle Jerk, addressing everything wrong with the commentary community in classic Kirby fashion.
You want to hear a joke? Half the people saying they want to die as a joke. You probably should.
She didn't only roast the community, but some people who were well respected also, including the people she looked up to, saying she's really sick of it. Because of the backlash, she even made a follow-up video, basically a part 2 video addressing that the most people in the commentary space are uninformed and ignorant at best. But as time went on, Kirby was dissatisfied with her content, because she thought her videos were lazy, and she decided to put more effort into her content and set sails to new waters.
And I've got absolutely nothing planned. 50% of it is just I'm being a lazy cunt. The other 50% is I don't have anything to talk about, because nothing interesting is going on. See, when you're a YouTuber, you require another source of something interesting going on for you to leech off of and make your own entertaining content. But I mean, who cares if I prepare videos on that? I mean, who's gonna see the
24 people, 20... That's the thing, I'm a YouTuber. I got nothing original about me. That's the only thing you can have going for you when you're trying to be a good YouTuber.
2019 arrived and she started to dip her feet into politics. Now, discussing politics on YouTube is always followed by a harsh backlash from the opposite side no matter what. Many people were also banned from the site, mostly because their views were sometimes considered a bit too extreme. Ltcorbis, now a bit older and more mature, started to post videos like this. Sunset bomber, multiracial white supremacy, women are cool and should vote, and child marriage is legal. These topics were quite different than the stuff we will usually see on her channel. Even if they were combined with some comedic elements, they were still hot topics some channel would not touch upon with a 10-foot pole. But Ltcorbis was completely fired up. Her boldness in addressing these topics made her stand out, but also sparked significant controversy. If you think the controversy would stop here, you're also horribly wrong. Have you ever heard of Brenton Tarrant, the perpetrator behind a mass streaming himself live? Well, if not, you know about him right now, and you probably don't have a high opinion about him. How is this related to Ltcorbis? Well, the speculation about having somebody behind the scenes wasn't so untrue. As we later discovered, she had an editor called Vapor Rub Boy. He was also the editor who previously worked for Anthony Fantano. Because he had some extreme views like praising the work of Brenton Tarrant, it's no wonder that people started to slowly distance themselves from Ltcorbis because of his views. But there was no turning back, as Ltcorbis wanted to go even deeper into politics. She then even changed her name from Ltcorbis to Soap, and the time was just right to spread some ideology to her viewers. Because of the content she created and the ideas about a wide demographic replacement in the USA, it's no wonder that this would overlap with some right-wing ideas. Here we have a YouTuber with 500,000 followers with some very weird and strong beliefs, but also a YouTuber whose core fanbase was not built on politics. As you can probably guess, this would end up quite bad. On April 2nd, 2019, screenshots started to appear from Ltcorbis' Discord showing some stuff that labeled her eventually as the most racist child on YouTube. And you needed to read it for yourself, as I simply don't want to read this. And like in my video of the worst YouTuber series, where we talk about Shadman, who drew explicit images of Ltcorbis, which were later even shown to her, which is the most disgusting thing ever, this was the part where she started to have some very racial standpoints against the Muslim community. This labeled her as a right-wing activist by the masses. People started to spread rumors that perhaps this wasn't all her fault, as she was by her parents or was being blackmailed by someone. None of these things were ever confirmed, as there is no evidence about this. But some of the things that many thought were quite real is how the internet was a huge influence on her beliefs and how you can end up believing in an ideology if you fell into the wrong group of people at such a young age. This is something quite debatable. She would then appear on a Ethan and Ralph stream to elaborate on her leaked Discord messages. Ethan was a guy who would discuss political drama of the day and host many popular people on the site. One more figure would also appear on that stream, and that was a liberal content creator called Destiny and Nicholas Fantes. The sole reason this particular episode existed was to address the leaks. Destiny would press Ltcorbis very hard about it.
I don't think there's
Well, you're not.
anything
You're
wrong with what I
backpedaling right
said.
now. You're backpedaling really
How
hard.
am I backpedaling?
Because you're telling me that I can't attack you based on what you've said here because you don't stand by what you've said. It was just a meme or it was hyperbole.
It was hyperbole because I was really angry. I said what I said because I wanted to express my rage somehow. It's not a perfect articulation of exactly what I think. I mean, to assume that I actually want to drop an atomic in the Middle East is kind of absurd.
Well, you didn't say you wanted to drop an atomic. You wished one would be dropped. But no, I mean, like, you expressed rage against all Muslims. It wasn't just the Muslims in this particular case. It wasn't even just it was all Muslims.
Yeah, because it was an exaggeration.
Most of the video was about pressing Ltcorbis to explain why she said the things she said, and in her defense it was all because of state of rage. But the whole stream didn't end up anywhere.
Fairly recently when I appeared on a show called The Kill Stream. It was a great experience overall, but there were, however, a few people acting as if due to the mere fact that I'm very young, I shouldn't engage with people I admire, simply because they talk about adult stuff on occasion. These are good-intentioned comments and seemingly harmless, but the line of thinking they reflect is the same one that leads to my current situation with YouTube.
Now comes a time where a guy by the name, however you say that, made a video called Ltcorbis, a racist meltdown, and commented about the alt-right pipe theory and how she was radicalized to become a fascist.
Do you guys remember Ltcorbis, the edgy 12-year-old commentator that back in the day everybody like Keemstar and Pirate Cynical promoted, and everybody was saying that this is the smartest 12-year-old in the universe? Well, guess what, guys? Like 2.5 years later, right now she's 14, she's all grown up, and she's an actual alt-right Nazi radical that is spewing racist garbage and has a fan base of thousands of people that agree with every extremely racist statement that she makes. You didn't expect that, did you?
We need to dive into this theory a bit more, as this right here are the meat and potatoes of this video. Now let's see how the alt-right pipe theory works, and to see how this can be connected to Kirby's views and personality. First, we need to start with how she was only 9 years old while browsing 4chan. 4chan is an anonymous image board known for its anything goes attitude. Kirby's videos reflect that in many ways, as she swears like a sailor, but this is just the start. While it hosts a wide variety of content, its perhaps most famous one is the politically incorrect board. This board has become a breeding ground for extreme and radical views. The anonymity of 4chan allows users to express controversial and often offensive opinions without the fear of personal repercussions. This creates an environment where extreme ideas can flourish and be shared freely, where people on YouTube are risking being banned if they spread the wrong idea or belief system. For a young impressionable person like Kirby's, stumbling upon boards like this can be a transformative experience. They might start by browsing out of curiosity and for entertainment, but the content can quickly draw them in. Memes and discussions are often designed to be engaging, often using humor and irony to make extreme viewpoints seem more relatable, let's say. Which is the exact same thing we see in Kirby's video. YouTube can also act like 4chan as an entry point into this alt-right pipeline theory, and these discussions can lead users to seek out more of the same. As they dive deeper, users are exposed to a wide array of far-right ideologies and conspiracy theories. The sense of community and the thrill of discovering so-called hidden truth can make these ideas very compelling, pushing them further down the pipeline. Understanding this connection is a key to recognizing how easy young curious individuals can be drawn into this alt-right pipeline. But was Ltcorbis fully aware of this? Or she was brainwashed by 4chan? Or she was just a god-level troll? Is something that I leave you to decide.
To you out of the pity I have for uneducated sheeple like you.
The video racist meltdown, among some others, started to slowly spread, and Ltcorbis was portrayed in a new light, which completely led to an ongoing culture war about political correctness and freedom of speech. On May 13, 2019, an article was posted by Joseph Bernstein called "YouTube's newest far-right, foul-mouthed, red-pilling star is a 14-year-old girl." Amazing how you can one day be the future of YouTube and then just 1 year later somehow you ended up being a red pill fascist. His article discussed how she was radicalized by the internet at a young age and how she was used by the platform and how she would use the platform to do this to others. He even blamed YouTube for her fame and not controlling her. But the powers of parents over children who live online are limited, and YouTube has taken no ownership over what is going on to the kids who grew up inhaling its trademark stench of bigotry, conspiracy and nihilism. Now the kids, or the smart ones anyway, seems to know it. Indeed, YouTube's own incompetence and lack of quality is one of the soap's recurring themes. She acknowledges owning her fame to them. Whenever you wanna agree with this or not, it's fully up to you, but that's his statement at least. The article we touched upon wasn't just for fun, as it was published just few days after a very infamous video called "Be Not Afraid." The video can be described as very vulgar, but also combined with some sarcasm and comedic flavor. The video is widely considered to be Islamophobic as well as anti-Semitic with its comments. After this, some right-wing people started to back her up, and the Washington Examiner made a post. BuzzFeed was right to point out the radicalization of child YouTubers. Unfortunately, the internet has paved a path for kids not only just to occupy this role, but also to radicalize them by the very act. The adults are cheering on this form of child manipulation, all the while criticizing those who dare point it out. But if you really think Ltcorbis was a downfall, as she almost managed to reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube. But this video did come with some heavy backfire, as just few days after the video was released and the article about it, YouTube stepped in and deleted her video. And it also didn't help that her peers at the school were somewhat of justice warriors and protested against Kirby's views. YouTube would start to punish her. First, many of her videos were demonetized and she was limited on how many videos she can release. The last video posted on her channel was Pride and Prejudice on July 31st, 2019. As you can guess, it's her take on the LGBT community, and it was quite critical. Not only critical, but also it was, let's say, a mockery, talking about how the community was being subverted by child predators, which is also opinion to have, I guess.
I'm pretty convinced that the actual goal of these movements is to weaponize gay pedophiles. California is also teaching students about how old Greek dudes
The result was quite intense. YouTube simply had enough of it and decided to terminate her child. Obviously, YouTube had its reasons, as Ltcorbis gained 3 community guideline strikes in 90 days and violated their policy about hate speech, which was updated in 2019 to be a bit more harsh. Following her ban, she tweeted a photo of herself with a gun, writing, "YouTube headquarters, here I come," referencing Nassim Akhtam, who busted into the YouTube headquarters and started to shooting at random people just a year prior. I have a whole video about this and you can check it out after this one. But Ltcorbis later deleted this tweet and clarified in a follow-up tweet that this was just a joke. As her YouTube career was at the end, she started to post on BitCute and joined Censor TV in November of that year, remaining there until 2022, and Ltcorbis would also stream with Lotus Yoshida behind a paywall and made videos on Subscribestar until 2024. Perhaps she's still enjoying the money she's making from there and how many people are currently tuning in, but this is just a far cry from how many people were tuning in on YouTube. Were her political views correct? Did she have the complete right to address the things the way she did? And was she victimized by the internet culture is a thing we can debate. As we navigate to the digital age, it's crucial to be aware of the content we are consuming and the communities we are engaging with. Ltcorbis' journey from a promising YouTube star to one of the platform's most controversial figures is a cautionary and unhinged case which can be used as evidence of the dangers of unchecked internet access and the radicalization potential of online communities such as 4chan. Despite her initial rise to fame and the support from prominent YouTubers, her increasingly extreme views and controversial content led to her downfall. Her story underscores the complexities of growing up online, where early exposure to mature themes and toxic communities can have profound impacts on young minds. And I don't think that any 9-year-old should browse sites like 4chan or Reddit. Whatever you view her as a victim of radicalization or a provocator who crossed the line, Ltcorbis' story definitely left quite a footprint online. And she is just one more YouTuber who faded to obscurity. And like I said, check out the video about Yasil and the attack on the YouTube headquarters, or check out my 5-hour-long iceberg chart about the weirdest and most disturbing online creators. But this is it for this week. Please support the channel, it does mean a lot. Simply liking and subscribing to the channel would do the trick. I don't have anything else to say besides thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next one. I've been Snorky, and until the next deep dive, please stay safe.
Squat down or something, you can catch me being like, ah, my ass, oh, ass.